It's early in the morning on the Cuiabá River, and it's teeming with life. A capybara is enjoying a quiet breakfast. Caimans are waiting on the riverbank for the sun to come up. A heron is looking for fish in the shallow water. Jabiru are plucking snails and small fish from the river bottom. Vultures are picking over the carcass of a dead cow that got stuck in the mud. An iguana is beginning his day by looking for tasty leaves to munch on. This capuchin monkey is cleverly scraping the skin off a hard berry. A coati is finishing up an early morning drink at the river's edge. The usually nocturnal crab-eating raccoon is searching for tiny, fresh water crabs. The giant river otter caught a tasty catfish for breakfast. 2 young howler monkeys are monkeying around in a palm tree. A yellow armadillo is scavenging for grubs, worms, and bugs. Yum! This nocturnal giant anteater is looking for a place to bed down for the day. A marsh deer is taking a long drink before starting the day. A mother tapir and her baby are getting a quick drink before finding a safe place to spend the day. And the jaguar is patrolling his territory. Welcome to the Pantanal.
Showcasing that true strength lies in perseverance, no matter how burdensome the load may seem. As the elephant approaches the waterhole, it takes a moment to hydrate, reflecting on its journey. The serene setting emphasizes the beauty of embracing one's duties, reminding all that there is strength in bearing the weight of responsibility with grace. A lizard which had mastered the art of concealment slowly transformed through the years
driving
into a formidable
south to the
crocodile,
heart of the
illustrating the
Pantanal.
strength of subtlety and the power of patience. As the lizard hid from predators and observed the world around it, an elephant, a symbol of wisdom and strength, stands in the vast savannah, carrying its heavy tusks without complaint. This gentle giant embraces its responsibilities, showcasing that true strength lies in perseverance, strategies, no matter how burdensome the load may seem. As the elephant approaches the waterhole, it takes a moment to hydrate, reflecting on its journey. The serene setting emphasizes the beauty of embracing one's duties, reminding all that there is strength in bearing the weight of responsibility with grace. This proverb captures the essence of transparency. A lizard which had mastered the art of concealment slowly transformed through the years into a formidable crocodile, illustrating the strength of subtlety and the power of patience. As the lizard hid from predators and observed the world around it, it learned to adapt each day, preparing for the transformation that would elevate it to new heights. With each passing season, the lizard became more aware of its surroundings, developing skills and strategies that would soon facilitate its remarkable evolution into a powerful force. In the dead of night, as the sun sets and darkness envelops the savannah, a snake that you can see does not bite. This proverb captures the essence of transparency and awareness of threats. It suggests that what is hidden is often more dangerous than what is visible. In the fading light, the snake's intricate patterns become more pronounced, highlighting both its allure and its potential threat. A figure nearby feels a twinge of fear, sensing that not all dangers are visible and that awareness is key. When the hyena laughs, it does not mean the prey is safe. Beware of deceptive appearances. In the dead of night, as the sun sets and darkness envelops the savannah, the laughter of the hyenas is a sound that echoes through the stillness, hinting at hidden threats. With every laugh, the hyenas grow closer, their playful demeanor masking an instinctive hunger that drives them to hunt, illustrating that not all appearances are as they seem. The laughter may seem harmless, but beneath it lies a calculated strategy, reminding all creatures that danger often conceals itself within the most deceptive of masks. Not always guaranteed. In the savannah, the crocodile lays still underneath the water, aware that the opportunity will come, teaching us to recognize opportunities and to be prepared to take a strong hold. As the sun begins to set, the crocodile's patience is tested, waiting for a moment when the unsuspecting antelope venture too close to the water's edge. In a split second, the crocodile strikes with fierce determination, demonstrating the importance of seizing opportunities when they arise. Despite its effort, the crocodile narrowly misses its target. Success is not always guaranteed.
Five words you pronounce wrong 2 years before your brain starts shutting down. Dementia is now known as type 3 diabetes, according to the Mayo Clinic, where doctors have made a shocking discovery that changes everything we know about memory loss and mental decline. So if you or a loved one is often forgetting things or suffering with brain fog, then you must see this. After 3,400 brain scans and years of clinical research, an award-winning brain health expert has just revealed the real root cause of memory loss and dementia. It has nothing to do with aging, genetics, or plaques. Instead, Dr. Sam Walters caused by the consumption of 5 neurotoxic chemicals used extensively within the American food industry. These neurotoxic chemicals create a brain rot that alters your ability to properly speak and destroys your mental clarity before completely erasing all of your memories. Dr. Walters' discovery was a $1 billion secret he wasn't supposed to know because it led to a clinically proven 30-second bedtime technique that can destroy the brain rot while you sleep, that you can do tonight, no matter how old you are, no matter your current condition. Tap the blue Watch Now button below for a free video. You'll see exactly how this powerful method takes only a few seconds a day and gets to work to sharpen your mind and memory almost instantly. This simple method reverses the brain rot before it can break any more networks, which helps energize brain cells, clear fogs, and most importantly, eliminates all signs of memory loss or dementia, all without the need for medications and their side effects or expensive therapies. More than 45,670 people are already doing it, and not only have they been able to reverse their cognitive decline, but they are also increasing their protection against diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's. So stop what you're doing right now and use the blue Watch Now button below to watch Dr. Walters' short, free, and eye-opening video. You'll see how thousands of people are using this strange 30-second bedtime technique to energize their brain cells, clear forgetfulness and confusion, and best of all, rewind their memory loss. This method is working so incredibly well that the greedy executives within the healthcare establishment are pushing to bury this memory-saving technique and protect their absurd profits. So while it is still available, hit the button and start using this technique to restore and protect your precious memories from vanishing. This video may not be available for long as Big Pharma files a new application every day to get it taken down. See it now while it's still online.
When the celestial mass emerged, we squabbled over it. What was found inside that island is a discovery of the millennium. I present to you adamantium. We can't let this get into the wrong hands. So many surprises left.
Captain America: Brave New World. Rated PG-13. Get tickets now.
Marine litter is mainly plastics, 70% or more are plastic items, and they come from two main sources. So there are land-based or sea-based sources. Land-based, you can think about items you use in your daily lives, like plastic bags, food packaging, cutlery, or whatever item you use, which is mismanaged and finds its way into the environment. Sea-based sources, as you can see behind me, one of them is fisheries, of course, but it could also be aquaculture or other maritime activities.
abandoned, lost, or otherwise discarded fishing gear is actually a really relevant component of marine litter. Not only because it's found in abundance in the world's ocean, but mainly because of the threat that it causes to marine organisms and marine ecosystem as a whole. So we actually know that entanglement is mainly caused by lost fishing gear, and that most of the entanglement events in large megafauna, such as sea turtles, seabirds, and large cetaceans, often results in the death of the animal, or at least in severe injuries. Part of the work that we're planning to do in WGML is trying to have better estimates of abundance of lost fishing gear on the seafloor of the Atlantic, but also trying to identify the main sources.
Within the Northeast Atlantic and the Baltic Sea area, systematic monitoring of seafloor litter is already ongoing for more than a decade using fish trawls. Within fisheries surveys, such as the International Bottom Trawl Survey or the Beam Trawl Survey, the litter caught in the net is collected, it is categorized and reported to ICES. So this makes that we have a large data set available covering a large spatial area.
Catch-based assessments come with some limitations, some drawbacks. And first of all, these surveys do not provide precise information on the exact location of the catch, are not applicable to all marine environments. Think of deep sea environments or rocky coastal regions. The most important drawback is probably the variation in catchability. So different types of fishing gear will provide different litter catchability. Furthermore, trawling, bottom trawling, is not permitted in some regions. For example, the marine protected areas. So due to all these limitations, researchers are looking for other innovative ways to observe marine litter underwater. So currently, we are evaluating the potential of different technologies, such as sonar systems or hyperspectral imaging systems, marine robotics, for marine applications underwater. And these technologies are extremely important because they have the potential to contribute to robust environmental indicators for marine litter. Plastic pollution is a highly complex issue in terms of dynamics, and future assessments, research, and modeling studies are needed to understand and to the fluxes of plastic and marine litter. For example, it is commonly assumed that rivers are a main route to the sea for land-based plastic. Current research, however, revealed that some estuaries, some river systems behave rather like plastic reservoirs.
Effects of seafloor litter can be divided in direct effects and indirect effects. With direct effects, we think on entanglement of species, the ingestion of marine litter by animals, or seabed coverage.
We also know that seafloor ecosystems are actually quite heavily impacted by lost fishing gear. In the Atlantic, it's quite common to see deepwater coral reefs being completely smothered by large lost fishing nets, but also other types of fishing gear, such as long lines and traps, are often found in abundance in these seafloor ecosystems.
With indirect effects, I mainly think of the effect of chemicals. Plastic contains additives, such as plasticizers or UV stabilizers. Currently, the real impact of these additives is not well known. And within the working group of marine litter, we aim to better characterize the impact of these additives.
So why is it important for ICES to do work on marine litter? Well, there are several reasons. Affecting the environment, so it causes issues with fish stocks, but other kind of resources we're trying to retrieve from the ocean. So there's quite some importance for ICES to assess the impacts that this marine litter has. It is important work that ICES is doing in terms of the harmonization and the monitoring. It's kind of driving forward the acceptance of certain methods and protocols.
The future of marine litter monitoring should focus on two key aspects. First of all, the behavior and transport of litter in freshwater and marine systems, and secondly, on innovative technologies to observe marine litter underwater.
How am I already underwater?
I'm in the same boat.
I'm in an actual boat. Because I've been using Grammarly's AI for years to keep me high and dry. Try it. Grammarly can point out what's missing. Right there. The CEO will want to see a deadline.
Oh.
And here you should connect the projections back to company strategy.
Yeah. Mia, can you do a deep dive?
On it. 10% higher revenue by next year.
I'm sending it in.
Budget and headcount are approved!
Download Grammarly for free.
Today's video is sponsored by Omaze. Stay tuned for a word from them at the end. The deep sea is a realm of curiosities. Throughout history, our nightmares have been fueled by tales brought back by seafarers of giant monsters from the depths and leviathans larger than life. And beauty. A hidden world alive with the coruscating dance of bioluminescence, concealing vibrant reefs and towering cities, supporting communities of organisms in ways that challenge and progress our understanding of life. And although there may be no Lovecraftian horrors lurking in our oceans, it may be true that the deeper you go, the stranger and crucially larger its inhabitants appear. The tendency of deep-sea creatures to grow to sizes far exceeding those of their shallow water counterparts is known as deep-sea gigantism, and it is a phenomenon best exemplified by the invertebrates of this dark and peculiar world. From isopods that exceed 40 centimeters in length to enormous cephalopods, it is a trend that seems illogical in scarcity of prey, where you might expect a larger body to hinder survival. In this film, we'll delve into the research that might help to explain this observation and take a look at some of the giants that rule the depths. When it comes to considering the harsh conditions of the deep sea, there is a common misconception that pressure poses a challenge to the animals that reside here. According to NOAA, for every 10 meters or 33 feet you descend, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. This means that the bottom of the ocean's twilight zone, 1,000 meters down, sits at around 101 atmospheres of pressure. And yet, life here appears unfazed. Transparent creatures, cast adrift in the endless gloom, like this siphonophore, a colony organism comprising hundreds of tiny animals called zooids working together to survive. The largest of these siphonophores is able to grow longer than a blue whale. Even approaching the ocean's deepest point, the Challenger Deep, more than 10,900 meters down, there is life. The deepest known fish, the Mariana snailfish, is able to survive at a depth of 8,000 meters, where water pressure is 801 times greater than at the surface. Pressure isn't much of an issue for these creatures that are themselves, for the most part, made of water. Gravity, and it is this that allows many of them to grow to such immense sizes without collapsing under their own weight. This explains how creatures of the deep are able to become so huge, but in order to find out why they do, we need to delve into their biology. Their immense growth has been explained in general terms by two laws, known as Kleber's rule and Bergmann's rule, both of which have attracted significant criticism within the scientific community. Kleber's rule proposed that animals that are larger will tend to be more efficient. A whale, for example, having a mass hundreds of times that of a small fish, will have a metabolism that is significantly slower. This is due to the nature of blood vessels and the circulatory system of animals. As body volume increases, the surface area increases more slowly, so larger animals have smaller surface area to volume ratios, and less energy per gram is lost through heat, requiring less replacement energy per gram. A slower metabolic rate is a huge advantage for animals in the deep sea, due to the scarcity of food down here. Below 200 meters, at the mesopelagic zone, light from the sun fades to a dim haze. This gloom is insufficient to support photosynthesizers like plants, algae, and phytoplankton. With no primary production taking place, the entire food web of deep midwaters must instead rely on scraps of food that sink from the more productive surface waters. A continuous trickle of organic particles known as marine snow, comprising dead material and feces. Food is scarce, so energy must be conserved, incentivizing deep-sea animals to grow to larger sizes in order to become more efficient. Take the amphipods, for example. These crustacean scavengers are found in every part of the ocean, from beach hoppers hiding away in seaweed on the shore, to 10,911 meters down in the furthest depths of the Mariana Trench. Here, the hadal amphipod takes to the unlit stage, even possessing enzymes that are able to digest wood. They can and do consume just about anything that falls to the sea floor, filling an important ecological function by recycling nutrients from even hard-to-digest material back into the environment. Without them, the seabed would vanish beneath a deluge of dead plant and animal material. These crustaceans can consume detritus at a rate between 60% and 100% of their body weight each day, for they are highly adapted to this task. Their legs have pincers with a movable half and a sharp edge used for tearing off pieces of food. At over 34 centimeters long in the hadal zone of the ocean, the species Alicella gigantea is a slow-moving scavenger which has been observed clumsily stumbling into bait, latching on and gorging itself for hours. But although it is far larger than shallow relatives, its size is not so odd when we consider it has evolved to fulfill a niche that, in shallower water, is occupied by other large bottom dwellers like crabs.
Olay has done it again with my new favorite body wash with hyaluronic acid. My skin feels so soft and smooth.
One of the most common illustrations of deep-sea gigantism is the colossal squid, a 700 kilogram, 15 meter long creature which dwells 2.1 kilometers below the surface. It is not only the largest invertebrate on Earth, but also has the largest eyes of any animal. But despite its size, very few have ever been observed, let alone filmed in the wild. Red devils, or Humboldt squid, may reach and are the largest of the so-called flying squids. And below, suspended at depths of around 4,000 meters, an even bigger cephalopod. At 8 meters long, and with slender arms and tentacles held perpendicular to the body, the Magnapina or big fin squid appears as if it's holding a marionette puppet. These long tentacles drape into deeper waters and probe for zooplankton, allowing the squid's body to remain concealed in the dark above as it feeds. Almost nothing is known about the big fin squid. It was first sighted only 20 years ago, and has been captured on film just a handful of times. This is footage of the most recent sighting, captured by one of NOAA's remotely operated vehicles, on the 9th of November last year, nearly 2.5 kilometers down in the Gulf of Mexico.
What is that? Ooh! Ooh, a squid! Ooh,
yes, a squid.
Ooh, follow it. Look how cool.
I know, it's just so...
It's a big fin squid,
it's
maybe?
Ghostly.
Magnapina?
Magnapina?
Oh man, look at him.
Although deep-sea gigantism tends to affect invertebrates more than any other animal group, it may also explain the morphology of some of the depth's vertebrate residents. Lurking in the cold polar depths of the Arctic Ocean, one of the largest sharks can be found in the gloom. This is a Greenland shark, belonging to a family of deep-water sharks called sleeper sharks. Growing to nearly 7 meters long at depths of over 2,000 meters, they have evolved to enhance their efficiency in a number of ways. A distinction can be made between their structural mass and growth mass. Structural mass, which contributes to internal and external body structures of an animal, requires energy to be used up for maintenance. Reserve mass, however, does not. Growing larger also allows animals to store more food in their reserve mass, and therefore travel greater distances without needing to eat so regularly. The reserve mass of sleeper sharks is immense, with some Greenland sharks weighing in at up to 1,400 kilograms, compared to shallow water sharks like this mako that may weigh between 60 and 400 kilograms. Living up to their name, sleeper sharks are one of the slowest moving sharks in the ocean, cruising along at 0.3 meters per second. Comparing it again with the short-fin mako, the sleeper's caudal fin is shorter and broader, and not suited to continuous high-speed cruising. Instead, it is suited to rapid bursts of acceleration for capturing faster prey, while conserving energy between meals. But these sharks tend not to waste energy on active hunting techniques if they can help it. Instead, they scavenge, led by their sensitive sense of smell to large food falls like this baleen whale carcass. Here, they will gorge themselves and store large amounts of food in their capacious stomachs. One study into a 3.7-meter-long female sleeper shark from Trinidad, California, revealed its stomach contents had a mass of 136 kilograms. Such immense food stores means large animals can cover greater distances when searching for food or locating a mate. It allows them to rely on nutrient-rich hotspots like the whale falls without starving during the long journeys between them. And what's truly remarkable is that the greatly slowed metabolic rates of these sharks means their lifespans are dramatically extended. When carbon dating on the innermost layer of the lens, they estimated the two biggest sharks to be around 335 to 392 years old. But Kleber's rule does not explain why animals that lack a digestive system or are sessile and waste very little energy on movement can still exhibit gigantism. The sponge grounds of the ocean depths are populated by thousands of animals that demonstrate this. This sponge, measuring 3.5 meters long and 2.1 meters tall, was found at a depth of 2,134 meters near the Hawaiian Islands in 2015. It is the size of a minivan, and like most denizens of the deep, it survives on marine snow. In the case of this and other deep-sea sponges, its large size may simply be due to a lack of disturbance from waves or typical sponge predators like turtles. A second theory that might explain the phenomenon of deep-sea gigantism is Bergmann's rule, which proposes that sea animals tend to increase in body size with a decrease in temperature. It is consistent with the observation that most sea animals that exhibit gigantism are found in colder regions. In the deep sea, the lack of sunlight causes temperatures to plummet. This leads to increased cell size and lifespans, as well as a slowing of metabolic rates. In fact, the phenomenon of gigantism is most prevalent at the Arctic and Southern Oceans, where even in the shallow waters, animals like sea stars, sponges, basket stars, and worms all grow to enormous sizes compared to their warm water counterparts. For well over a century, zoologists and explorers to the poles have recorded their observations from dredging creatures from the depths, including sea spiders the size of dinner plates, with leg spans of 60 centimeters. In other parts of the ocean, the same species of sea spider grows no larger than 1 millimeter. Tall giant sponges cling to drop stones, large boulders that fall from passing icebergs, providing islands of rocky habitat on the soft mud for filter feeders to cling to. Thanks to them, feather stars and cold water corals have colonized the region. Well adapted to a stable and unchanging environment, these plant-like animals grow very slowly, but to enormous sizes. Very few fish are found here. Unlike most marine ecosystems where they dominate the food web, fish struggle to survive the freezing temperatures. Instead, the Antarctic deep is a seemingly prehistoric world, dominated by the giant invertebrates. Creatures here belong to a community that has been isolated from the rest of the planet for millions of years. The powerful Antarctic circumpolar current swirls around the frozen continent, creating a steep temperature gradient that stops marine animals from spreading. Their isolation has led to the diversity we see today, and the conditions of this cold underwater world has led to the enormous sizes they demonstrate. A slowed metabolism means many polar inhabitants can be described as living in relative slow motion, extending their lives. Crucially, warm water holds less dissolved oxygen than cold water, because the faster moving molecules allow oxygen to escape more readily. So, the icy waters at the poles are remarkably oxygen-rich. But while low temperatures increase oxygen availability, they also reduce metabolic demand for oxygen due to the slowing metabolic rates, and this creates a far larger ratio of oxygen supply to demand. This releases cold water organisms from oxygen-based constraints on body size that inhibit the growth of animals in the tropics. In other words, they can sustain larger bodies without needing to worry about not accessing sufficient oxygen to maintain them. This is the oxygen temperature hypothesis, and it may underlie another phenomenon called polar gigantism. But if this is indeed the case, then polar giants may be particularly susceptible to warming temperatures, offsetting the fragile balance of their environment. Climate change is occurring at faster rates at the poles than anywhere else on Earth. As the ice melts and sea temperatures rise, the once oxygen-rich waters of the poles become depleted, and large-bodied organisms can no longer sustain their metabolic processes. And on top of that, their fragile, once isolated ecosystem has already seen an influx of invasive marine life. King crabs, voracious predators that had been kept at bay by the constraints of the polar front, expand their range as polar seas grow warmer. And here they devastate the sea floor. They gorge themselves on animals that never needed to evolve to defend themselves against such predators. Examining the ecology of oceanic islands may hold the key to understanding polar and deep-sea gigantism. Islands are isolated from other landmasses, and so they tend to develop indigenous biodiversity through diversification of the organisms that arrived there. Over time, they transform to display an astonishing variety of traits to survive and thrive in their new home. Isolation drives speciation. This process, in which organisms diversify rapidly from ancestral species, is called adaptive radiation. On islands, it arises from the unique resources available and the new biotic interactions that in turn open new niches. The only way to survive in these unfamiliar worlds is to adapt quickly. In the Galapagos Islands, 13 species of small land birds, called Darwin's finches, are a classic example of adaptive radiation. Their common ancestor arrived on the Galapagos about 2 million years ago. Since then, they have diversified into 15 new species, each different in body size, beak shape, song, and feeding behavior. With so little competition to hinder their evolution, the finches were able to exploit numerous different lifestyles or niches. Thus, islands create a scale model of evolution. But due to limited resources, competitors, and predators, the diversification of island fauna often follows an ecogeographical rule. In 1964, mammalogist